Your child is upset. They walk toward you, slowly, looking for comfort, but halfway across the room, they stop. They turn slightly, their face goes blank, and then they freeze, caught between wanting to come closer and wanting to back away. To anyone watching, it looks like a small, strange moment, maybe even a funny one, but inside that little body, something serious is happening. Their nervous system is trying to decide whether you are safe or unsafe in this exact moment, and it can't tell. That confusion, repeated quietly over months and years, is what builds something called disorganized attachment. And it isn't built by bad parents. It's built by loving parents who never realized that certain everyday habits were sending mixed signals to their child's developing brain. So today, let's walk through the 5 most common ones and exactly what to do differently, starting today. The first habit is reacting unpredictably to the same behavior. Your child does something, let's say they spill their juice, and one day you laugh it off. The next day you snap and raise your voice. The day after, you don't even notice. From an adult's perspective, this makes sense. You're tired, you're in different moods, you're human. But from the child's perspective, the same action keeps producing wildly different responses, and they can't figure out the rule. So their nervous system starts staying on alert all the time, scanning your face, your tone, your posture, trying to predict which version of you is about to show up. That state of constant scanning is exhausting for a small brain, and it's the soil disorganized attachment grows from. What to do instead is simple but powerful. Aim for predictable reactions, even imperfect ones. Your child doesn't need a perfectly calm parent. They need a parent whose responses they can roughly predict. If something is a problem on Monday, it should still be a problem on Tuesday. If you can't manage a calm response in the moment, come back later and repair. I yelled earlier, and I'm sorry. That wasn't your fault. That repair teaches them something just as important as the calm itself, that the world is consistent, and that you are someone they can read. The second habit is showing fear, panic, or overwhelm in front of your child. This one surprises a lot of parents. Children pick up on adult fear instantly. When your face goes pale at a small accident, when you panic over a minor scrape, when you react with intense anxiety to something they did, your child's brain registers something deeply unsettling. The person I depend on for safety is afraid right now. And if you're afraid, the world must be dangerous. Worse, in their mind, they're often the cause. They start to feel they have the power to break the adult who's supposed to be their anchor. That's a terrifying weight for a small child to carry. What to do instead is to keep your nervous system regulated in front of them, especially in stressful moments. That doesn't mean hiding all your emotions. It means being the calm in the storm when they're already scared. If you're feeling overwhelmed, take a breath, lower your voice, slow your movements. You can absolutely say, "Mommy needs a minute." That models healthy regulation. What you want to avoid is letting your panic become their crisis. The third habit is switching between warm and cold without warning. One minute you're with them, the next minute you've gone silent and distant, and they don't know why. Maybe you got a stressful text. Maybe you're remembering something from earlier. Whatever the reason, the child only sees the shift, and they assume it's about them. They start trying to figure out what they did wrong. They become hyper-vigilant about your emotions, walking on eggshells in their own home. Over time, this teaches them that closeness with the people you love is unstable. That love can disappear in a second, for reasons no one explains. The fix is honesty in age-appropriate terms. If your mood shifts, name it. I'm feeling a bit stressed about something at work. It's not about you, and I love you very much. That single sentence rewires the whole experience. Your child learns that when you go quiet, it's because of life, not because of them. They stop blaming themselves for your weather changes, and they keep their sense of safety in your relationship intact. Now here's the part that might actually take some pressure off you. In the 1970s, a researcher named Edward Tronick ran an experiment that changed how psychologists understood all of this. He had mothers play normally with their babies, then, for just a few minutes, go completely still. No expression, no response, just a blank face. The babies noticed instantly. They smiled, reached, made sounds, tried everything they knew to get their mother back. When nothing worked, they turned away, and some slumped in their seats, like they'd simply given up trying. It's a hard thing to watch, but the follow-up finding is the one that matters for every parent watching this. When researchers tracked these same babies over time, the ones who grew up securely attached weren't the ones whose mothers never went still, never got distracted, never lost their patience. Mismatches like that happen constantly in ordinary life. In something like 7 out of every 10 interactions, even in loving homes. What separated the secure kids from the anxious or disorganized ones was something else entirely: whether the connection got repaired afterward. So if you read the last 3 habits and felt a wave of guilt, let this be the exhale. You are going to be inconsistent sometimes. You are going to look scared, go quiet, or say one thing while your face says another. That's not a failure of parenting. That's being a person. What your child's nervous system is actually tracking, underneath all of it, is whether the disconnection gets fixed. A parent who snaps and then comes back 5 minutes later and says, "I got frustrated, that wasn't fair to you," is teaching a lesson just as powerful as never snapping at all, maybe more powerful, because it also teaches that relationships can survive friction, that closeness isn't fragile. Researchers now call this the rupture and repair cycle, and it shows up constantly in attachment work. The rupture isn't the dangerous part, the absence of repair is. A child who experiences enough of these small repairs learns, on a level long before language, that disconnection is survivable, and that the people who love them will come back. That single lesson may be one of the most protective things a child can carry into adulthood. So the goal was never to become a parent who gets it right every time. It's to become one who's willing to circle back when you don't. If you're learning something new from this, hit subscribe. The next 2 patterns are some of the most overlooked even by careful parents. The 4th habit is leaning on your child for emotional support. This one looks loving on the surface. You're stressed, your child is the one who notices and tries to help. So you let them. You vent about your day. You in front of them in a way that asks for comfort. You confide in them about adult problems because they're sweet and they listen. But the child's nervous system isn't built for that role. When the parent becomes the one who needs caring for, the child has nowhere to go for their own comfort. They start suppressing their own feelings to keep yours stable. They become little caretakers, deeply attuned to adult emotions but disconnected from their own. What to do instead is to keep adult problems with adults. Your child can know that you have feelings. That's healthy. What they shouldn't carry is the responsibility of fixing those feelings. Lean on partners, friends, family, therapists for emotional support. Let your child be a child. The relief they feel when they don't have to manage your emotional state is bigger than most parents realize. The 5th habit is the most subtle of all: mismatched words and body language. You smile at your child while saying something cold. You speak warmly while your eyes look meaning. You hug them while your body is stiff. You say "I love you" through clenched teeth. To you, these moments feel like you're holding it together. To your child, they feel like a riddle they can't solve. The face says one thing, the voice says another, the body says a third. Their brain has no idea which signal to trust, so it starts trusting none of them. What to do instead is to align your words and your body when it counts most. If you're upset, it's actually better to say so calmly than to fake warmth. "I'm a little frustrated right now, but I still love you and I'm here." That sentence is honest, regulated, and easy for a child to read. You don't need to be cheerful all the time. You need to be congruent, the inside and the outside saying the same thing. That alignment is what teaches your child that you can be trusted at the deepest level. Disorganized attachment doesn't form because parents don't love their children. It forms in the small, confusing moments when a child can't quite tell what version of you is in front of them, and what that means about whether they're safe. Decades of attachment research, going back to the original work of Mary Main and Eric Hesse, have shown that consistency, predictability, and emotional congruence are what children's nervous systems need most. Not perfection, just patterns they can read. When your child reaches for you, can they predict what they'll find? When you go quiet, do they know it isn't their fault? When you say you love them, does your face say it too? Those quiet alignments, repeated day after day, are how secure children are built. You don't have to get it right every time. You just have to keep showing up the same way often enough that your child knows exactly who you are. If this gave you even one moment to look at differently, share it with a parent who'd love it, and consider subscribing. We unpack the quiet psychology behind everyday parenting moments every single week, and a quick like really does help other thoughtful parents find this channel.